What a long Friday, Asher thought to himself as he slid out from under that squad car he was working on. The sun had finally begun to peek over the horizon, cutting its rays across the garage. The dull light hovered over the lake and bounced through the trees of the forest before finding itself, sickly green and somber blue, spread out over everything like the morning fog before it. Asher stopped, glaring into the light as he held his bag of tools so loosely in his hand that he might have dropped it and spilled its contents all along the floor around him. Thoughts of last night, of his wife's warmth against his body and the feeling of their talk, her words reverberating along the top of his chest as she breathed into him, replayed themselves in a loop as he stood hypnotized. He would have stayed at her side, even just a bit longer if he could have. He blinked and took himself from his thoughts. He caught his tools right before they slipped away and hurriedly walked himself over to the large toolbox over at the wall. The sounds of the garage came over him in a fanatical mess. Pneumatic drills and the shrill sounds of 80s rock pushed each other along the worn walls of the workspace. A vision of his wife, laying faced away from him in the middle of the night, flashed through his mind before his daydream was snapped away with a sudden hand on his shoulder. "Hey man, you good?" chuckled his coworker, Danny. "You're doing it again." Asher turned with eyes full of disappointment, to be so jarringly reminded that he was in a place he didn't want to be. The feeling stabbed him like a dull knife to the lungs. "I'm okay." Danny studied him, never letting his shoulder go, holding his smile until it was returned. "You put any more thought into going out with us to the lake this weekend?" His hand sprang back in a solid pat before he walked over a little ways to a dusty green truck. Asher responded in a voice that seemed to miss its mark. To be fair to him, it was Danny's fault. He had a habit of walking around after starting conversations like this. It forced Asher to speak up, to repeat himself, using his first response as a rehearsal. I think I'm going to stay home this weekend. Spend some time with Nell and the little guy." A flickering smile fluttered across his face as he walked back over to the squad car. Danny threw his hands up. "Ah, man, come on. The guys never get to see you." He laughed as he complained and playfully walked over to the car his friend was working on. "Just be a little hike, man. A few beers and some food. We'll be back by morning, just in time for you to get some alone time with Jan and have breakfast with the family." "It's not the same," Asher protested modestly. He gazed out of the garage towards the distant woods and kept his eyes on the trees, almost as if he could see through their dense veil. "It's not the same," mocked Danny. "When do you ever get time to do your own thing, man? To hang with your friends? To be your own man? I'm just worried about you is all." "It's too early in the morning to be worried about me," laughed Asher. "We just started the day, really, man." Danny quickly met his statement with a rebuttal. "Nah, you know how Jerry does. I think it'll be slow after you get that thing on the road again. Someone's going home early." He walked over to the racks on the wall, grabbed a new filter, and slung the old dusty one into the trash with a most effortless aim. "And if I had to choose one of us to hit the road today, it'd be you. You've been here longer. Well, damn, before the sun came up. Surprised you hadn't already finished with that thing." Asher nodded before sliding back under the vehicle. Danny continued the conversation. "What's wrong with it?" Asher groaned as he looked around under the car. "Nothing really. He just gave us the laundry list for the year." "I'm telling you, man, that car has the hardest job in their office." Danny chuckled before kneeling down to tap the driver's side front tire. "You imagine how hard it is, carrying Buster's big ass around all day?" Asher allowed himself to smile and laugh as he listened to Danny give the sheriff his just desserts between the two of them. "Seriously, man, that car don't need a mechanic. It needs a chiropractor." Between their laughter, a loud, rasping voice came from the office door. "How much longer we got on that cruiser?" "Buster's headed over here after lunch," called Jerry. "It'll be ready and waiting on him in about an hour," responded Asher. There was a moment of silence from their boss, responding to the sheriff over the phone before he called out again. "He said don't forget that air freshener he likes, the new car one." Danny chimed in. "As opposed to the smell of sweaty bigot, I'd have to agree. New car is much better." They both laughed before Jerry called out again. "And once you're done with it, take off for the day. Enjoy your weekend for once." Danny walked by the squad car again and tapped its hood. "Told you," he chuckled. He laid down along the side of the car as the door to the office closed again. "So as I was saying, what's it going to take to get you out to the lake tomorrow? The guys haven't seen you in a while." Asher looked over with a frustrated smile. "I promised Janelle." "She'll understand, man," huffed Danny. "We just hike up Old Red Road." "Don't call it that," hushed Asher. "What? That's what it's called," responded Danny through a half-injured tone. "No, that's what they call it because of her," Asher whimpered. "It's fucked up, man." They both paused. I don't even think that story's real, man. It's real enough.